I'm going to redo this video because I got a little bit animated, my first take. So, David Knight supposedly had this guy on, I don't know what his real name is, it's Lionel or something like that, Lioness, whatever you want to call him. And before I go out and start throwing conjecture around and speculating on what this guy is or what his motives are, maybe he's just completely incompetent. Maybe. But as I'll explain to you, this goes beyond that, because if anybody can see the evidence in which most of us on this channel have seen, we would know it's not even a controversy that it was directly involved in 9/11, and they were the main purveyors of it. They were the quarterback. They basically did everything. And of course they have their patsies. You can't commit a mass crime and not blame it on somebody else. You can't just commit a crime and then hope that they never investigate, or they just botch all investigations and say, oh, we're not going to hold anybody accountable. Of course there has to be a patsy. That's what Saudi Arabia is. And obviously Saudi Arabia had some funding in it, but let's be honest here, what does Saudi Arabia get out of the United States to have an expansive military presence in the Middle East and to have Israel being bolstered by the United States in the Middle East? What does Saudi Arabia gain from that? They don't gain anything. They got some money off of it because of all the oil prices that skyrocketed because of these events and because of the wars that were after it. But that's about it. They just made a couple $1 billion off of it. But they lost everything politically in the area. So anyways, I don't want to digress into that, my whole Saudi rant on this, but anyways, this Lionel guy has the nerve to go on David Knight's show and complain about how everybody brings up the dancing Israelis. And he doesn't even contextualize it. That's the part I love about it. When you know people misrepresent something, you know they're doing it for a specific reason. So he doesn't address the fact that these people were recording before the event took place. He didn't even casually mention that these people were identified by eyewitnesses as being there before the event took place. Don't you think that's something that you should add in there? Because think about it. Think about if there's a murder that happens and it's premeditated, right? It's not just sporadic. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. There's not an argument and somebody just gets stabbed. Say it's premeditated. This person sits down and plans it out for weeks and months. And let's just say this person has a co-conspirator. And they happen to sit outside of the person's house that's going to get murdered hours beforehand, watching them, and then record the event. Don't you think that something in your head would click and say, wait a minute, they were planning this ahead of time. This isn't just they just saw this event take place and they just start recording. That's not what happened. It's not an instantaneous reaction. They had foreknowledge. The Israelis did. They were dancing and celebrating, which he forgot to mention. Why were they celebrating? Why were they celebrating? Are you not going to mention that? Why would that make them happy to see thousands, potentially, of people die? Oh, Mr. Lionel, how come you didn't mention the fact that there were Israelis who were arrested on the George Washington Bridge in a van with explosives? Tons of explosive. I don't know the exact amount, but I know it was over a ton, supposedly. We actually have the police officers who arrested these people. And they talk about how when they were arresting the Israelis, they said, guys, we're actually on your side, please. We're against the terrorists here. We're on your side. As they have explosives in a van on a bridge that's heavily populated and traveled on. No, that's just another coincidence. And this guy has the nerve to show his face in public. And then he uses his credentials as a past prosecutor or whatever he used to do in law to sort of bolster his nonsense. Really? Really? Could you imagine if, let's go back to the whole murder scenario that I drew up there real fast. So let's say this person goes into this house and they're going to murder somebody, right? And they shoot him. But somehow that person has the impetus to get up and escape and run away. Now imagine if there was a third person waiting outside with a shotgun outside the door, ready to shoot that person in the chest as soon as they ran out. You don't think that would be a little bit suspicious? That there was a third person sitting there waiting? Or is it just another coincidence? Just a coincidence that there were Israelis driving on the George Washington Bridge with explosives. Just a coincidence, right? Just a coincidence that there was a total media blackout for months after that about the Israeli involvement. About how the FBI rounded up a bunch of Israeli spies in the United States. That's just coincidence. That's conjecture, speculation. Why are you even spreading that? That's literally what he went on this show to say, is that we need to stop spreading these conspiracy theories that Israel did it. That's literally what he did. That's the first example he brought up, was the dancing Israelis. But he didn't even contextualize it, like I said, quantify it in any sort of specific way. So, like I said, I don't want to speculate on his intentions, but at the end of the day, people like this aren't incompetent. If you're a lawyer, you're probably not incompetent. You're probably well educated, right? Deceptive, duplicitous. That's what this is. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know why he went on the show to sort of smear all the people who accuse the Israeli government of not only executing this, but having a hand in it. But I want to end this rant here because I just wanted to make that point clear. And it's not even like I know that much about 9/11 truth. It's not even close to my knowledge of when it comes to the Holocaust or World War II. It's probably not even... I would say at least I have a rudimentary understanding of who did it and what's going on, but it's not even close to, like I said, with the Holocaust, where I've spent hours on this. And this one is just so obvious. That's why I didn't even feel like I needed to spend hours on it. At least with the Holocaust, all these people out there who make these lives, they spent hours and hours and hours constructing the lies and going through and looking at the revisionist arguments and thinking of things that they could just lie more about. And people on the other side of 9/11 truth, they don't do that. They just come out and smear people as conspiracy theorists. Or they say, oh, what are you, an anti-Semite? You're accusing the Israeli government? Because the Israeli government has never done anything. You know, I've never heard of Jonathan Pollard or anything like that. Or the USS Liberty. It never happened before. Never. They don't do anything evil or kill people. Unbelievable. So I'm going to include the link in here. Like I said, I was going to clip the video of it, but they only allow me to download this video in 720p for some reason, so I'm not going to spend an hour of my life downloading this, especially on my phone. At my house, I have 60 megabits per second internet, so it'll be a lot better than that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in yet again. Thank you for all the support. Take it easy.